What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, Carved Up Vegan Muscle, and I just finished doing my deadlifts, so I'm a sweaty mess. I was doing for sets of 10 today, and those are awful. I'll give you a little bit more info on what I'm doing for programming, have some upcoming competition things, and I'm actually going to go through my wife's program, or I hate to say program, but how I organized her contest prep. So I might give you guys some ideas on things, but that's for another video. This video is going to talk about the topic of the relationship between getting stronger, rep ranges, and muscle growth. There are a lot of people that really are not concerned exactly with how strong they are. They're more concerned with how much muscle they can grow, how they look, how you're going to look when you go out to the beach, if you're going to look good naked, as Dr. Brad Schoenfeld would say. That's the name of his website anyways. And there is a very direct relationship between strength and muscle. But I'm actually going to take a little bit different approach to it than how I have in the past. In the past, I've kind of indicated that when I've talked on this topic that getting stronger and muscle growth were a very direct correlation. And although that is true if you're talking within the same rep range, say you're always doing sets of 5, and your 5 rep max, if we say, goes from 200 pounds to 300 pounds, then yes, you will have grown a significant amount of muscle in order to do that. That's not the only way to get stronger, but it's probably the primary way that you'll see strength increases. But when we look at the overwhelming body of research, there is a variety of rep ranges that people use to both get stronger and grow muscle. So if I am doing 300 pounds for sets of 1 or 2, and keep using 300 pounds, and eventually I work up to 10, 15, and 20, then that represents a dramatic increase in both strength and muscle. So if you're going to look at it from that perspective, if we're only talking about direct strength, well, that person's 1 rep max, if they've never gone above 300 pounds, we really can't say they've gotten stronger than 300 pounds, although obviously they have. Likely they're, if they're doing 300 pounds for sets of 20, then I would guess that they're probably able to deadlift. If they train the skill of deadlifting at lower rep ranges, they would probably quickly be able to get up at least in the mid 400s, maybe 500 pounds. So that is a different way to look at it, a different perspective on how to look at strength. So, and when we see people that are doing sets of 20, and I've seen up to 30 in the research, then those people are also stimulating muscle growth. You do stimulate muscle growth by doing those. Now, you also have a lot more muscle damage that can potentially take place when you're talking about doing sets of 20 and 30. There may be some need to vary volume when doing that, whereas when I think about volume, I generally only think of the concept of a set taken to near maximum. So if I'm looking at the RPE scale, rate of perceived exertion, or how to measure a lift on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult it was, we're looking at that anywhere from 8 to 9.5 range. If you're working within that range, then we'll say that was one set, or I mostly only count sets. So today I did 3 sets of deadlifts. All at sets of 10, I worked up to a 10 rep max, or about a max. It wasn't actually my max, but it was somewhere in that RPE of 9 range. I took off 5%, and that was actually removing weight and going down was actually more difficult than the original set. And then I took off another 10 or 15 pounds after that for my 3rd set, and that was the most difficult set in general. So it was the lightest that I did, but it was the most difficult. So if we are measuring that on a scale of 1 to 10, the first set I would say was probably an 8, maybe a 7.5, 8. The next set that I did at a lighter weight was actually a higher RPE, so it was actually at if I want to measure it, it would be, I would say, probably about an 8.5 or 9. And then the last set that I did was about a 9.5, 9.5, somewhere in that range. So you can see that there's different ways to measure actual volume that took place, but when we are looking within those rep ranges and different things that on how to get stronger or the relationship between strength and muscle, we know that any rep range can facilitate muscle growth, and a larger muscle has the capacity to be a stronger muscle. Just because a muscle gets larger doesn't mean that it's also stronger, because there's also other elements involved. There's the skill of actually working within lower rep ranges. So for me personally, I typically, for most of the year, train in anywhere from 1 to 5, and I rarely go too much above that. Right now I'm actually working in the 10 rep range, so even just hitting things that would be approximate maxes, or under my maxes and weights that I would normally be able to hit for 1 if I'm trying to gauge the intensity based on like Prilipin's chart or something where they say if your 1 rep max is this, then you should probably have about this for 10. Well, I'm very skilled at hitting those lower rep ranges, so I actually have to take a little bit more off than would be the norm when I'm working in sets of 10, because I'm not as skilled at hitting sets of 10. So that's definitely something to consider if you are like me and you obsess over that kind of thing. So if not, then who cares? Just lift, look good, and feel good. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. It is hopefully a little bit informative, even though I kind of jumped around from topic to topic there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Take it easy.